Hi guys, coming live from Ahmedabad. This is after 1 year, and I'm really happy to be here. We've got a small group of friends, and look forward to sharing some great wisdom, spiritual wisdom. How to be you in 2018. What does it mean to be bold? What does it mean to be transparent? What does it mean to be totally spiritual and live a fully worldly life? How does that happen? What is the best way? What is the fastest and the easiest technique to connect to your deepest soul level? And okay, so this is what we'll be talking about today. We also have a request for a hot seat. We've done that in the past. And the hot seat is where a person comes, and this is usually a very bold person who will start, and they ask questions. But the questions are not just general philosophy. They're not just what happens after death, what happens, blah, blah, blah. It's more really specific to themselves, because people want to ultimately, they may not be so interested in just more doctrines or dogmas or concepts, but they want something that they can resolve in their life today and move forward so they can develop themselves consciously. So they want to look at their own blocks. What is blocking them? What is the best path to move ahead? So the hot seat is actually about just facing the truth, facing your own truth. So facilitating that. So it's really a lot of fun, and to do it in group, because what happens is that we're so interconnected. There's never a problem that is only yours. It's always almost everywhere you will experience that problem. You may not have experienced it, but somebody in the family may have, or it has not arrived yet. It may be about to come. So nobody is without similar problems. So one thing nice about us all is that we have common problems, and we've had them for generations. We don't have new problems. There's nothing new happening here. If you feel there's a question, how do we manage our kids? 20 years ago, 40 years ago, 60 years ago, it was a similar situation. The parents still didn't relate. The kids didn't relate to the parents. And there was rebelliousness. So actually nothing has changed in human evolution as per problems are concerned. It's always the same conflict where people don't get along with each other for whatever reason, because of different various beliefs basically, and then expectations. So nothing new. It's so common, but when it happens to us, when we're in conflict, our conflicts look larger than life. They look really big, but it happens to somebody else, we really don't think it's that big. So our purpose today is also, intention is to resolve some of our personal conflict, which is not so personal as we've already discussed, and come into resolve. And when we come into that peaceful state through understanding what's happening, examining ourselves, and I'll just be the mirror and I'll help you do that today. So look at it soul-wise, look at it little energetically, physically, mentally, intellectually. When we do that examination, we have brilliant results. Magic starts to happen, and this happens on the spot. It doesn't happen later. It's just on the spot you get relief from something chronic that you may be suffering with. So let us do that. If do you guys like that? The hot seat?
Yes.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay, absolutely, yeah. Because it takes one bold one, the others start to follow. Then nobody is that shy, because the shy ones get left out, because they are still lingering with the question. Have you gone into auditoriums or people and you know, just come out with the same question you went in with? So that's kind of sad, because in a spiritual gathering, you should really be the first one, bold one, to say, I want to resolve something today. So, okay, who wants to start?
I'll be the number 2.
Yeah, you'll be the number 2. Okay, okay, great. Yeah. And your first time here, so that's great.
Actually, I'm very insecure in my life.
Okay.
I have everything, but then too, I feel insecure always. I don't know what's the reason.
So when the question is that I have everything in my life, but I still feel insecure. So when you feel insecure, I'm just going to ask questions and examine, and we'll come into actually that what could be really happening behind the scenes, right? So when you feel insecure, how do you actually feel mentally? Well, or emotionally, when you're feeling insecure, in moments of insecurity, what are your emotions?
Actually, I'm staying with a joint family.
Okay.
So whenever something goes wrong in the family, I'm very much insecure, like fighting or whatever it is.
Okay. Okay.
So I feel that I'm insecure.
Okay. So whenever there is any commotion, any conflict around you in your environment, do you become nervous?
Yeah.
Okay, you just become nervous. That's about it. Yeah. Okay. So then physical level, do you feel like a panic or heart palpitation? Yes, or panic. Okay. Panic. Yeah. Okay. So what has happened is that sometimes this may not be such a big problem. It's just that you may not have consciously dealt with problems. A lot of our problems are swept under the rug. Even as children, when we see conflict in our parents, so we are not told about it. As children, it says, okay, keep the children out of it. Don't let them know. Yet we know in the bedroom they're fighting, right? We know the fight. We know all of that. It's damaging us, because some kids actually would sleep with pillows, like on their head, because they didn't want to hear this conflict because it was so hard on them, right? So we've ignored conflict for a long time. And why? Because somehow, somewhere we feel that if we talk about it, it may get bigger. Somehow we've never faced it. Now, whenever there's conflict, it's not about anything right or wrong. If you want to prove you're right, the conflict will never drop. It'll never cease, right? And this is what people are doing all the time. They get into conflict. There's a difference of opinion, which happens when two people even live together. There's difference of opinion. There has to be. That's healthy. But then they get into a fight, both trying to prove themselves right? And then the dialogue stops. And they start to and this is, it is very interesting. This, how they respond to conflict has been learnt by their elders. They're trained from children that maybe the parent, behaved like that. There's some people who start to scream. Some people start to cry. Some people start to call bad names, whatever, push, physical violence. Some people lock themselves in the room, shut the doors, and, no, but they won't say anything.
I start screaming.
You start screaming? Okay, because your voice hopefully will stop the other person, because your voice will be louder. So this is a strategy we use. You may have learned this. Like one person screaming, and if the other one gets louder, then the first one who is screaming actually shuts off, keeps quiet. So this is learned behavior from our parents, how we are responding to conflict. Conflict is natural, it is normal, this is part of our growth. So part of our growth also means that we have to learn at some given point to dialogue, to listen, right? Not just patterns, because those are patterns. If you take a 3-year-old child, 3-year-old child or 2-year-old child doesn't have the language. They don't know too many words. So what do? They throw things, they have tantrums, right? But now you're 33 and you're still throwing things and you're still pushing and you're still fighting the same way you would at 3. But now you have language, you have words, you have emotions. There's no reason that you cannot reason out or you cannot dialogue, right? So it's very important that, and start to try this with your friends. Start to, when they're talking about some conflict in their lives, you start to talk, okay, what happened? Did you say this? Did you suggest this? So you start to actually listen and don't take it personally enough, even though it's really hard not to. You start to listen to the person, that why are they saying what they're saying? What do they actually mean, right? So what happens in a conflict again is one person gets angry and nasty and they say, you're always like that, you're always doing this, right? Then rather than saying, I'm not ever doing this, but you behave like this, rather than responding to what has just been said, You try and go back, okay, what happened? So let me understand that you've obviously had resistance, reaction to what I've said. What are you feeling? So I know exactly, where our problem is. Then you can actually change. You can say, I did not mean it this way. Usually it is always that. When you start to talk about it, you will say, okay, what I said was not what I mean, but what I meant was this. But our reactions are so like a parrot, we've learned. Without thinking, we even use the same words. When we are angry, we actually use the same words. We don't even use a different word, vocabulary. Like we lose. So what happens is our imagination, our brain, the frontal lobe gets cut off in that high stress and we can't think. So we start to repeat and just belligerent and, just. So I think challenge yourself to invite conflict in the sense that learn how to, and then be aware what is happening to my body. Why is it happening? Why should my body be this way? Few times you will still feel nervous. Third, fourth time, you will actually won't because you've examined it. So your power of examining, is pure light, pure awareness with what, so it's shedding light, right? So if this is conflict, I'm looking at this, right? Now I'm really strong, I'm watching conflict. So my power to observe is more than the power of this conflict. So power of examining has become more than the power energy that the conflict's holding. When you do that, the conflict shrinks, this becomes more. And it's slow and steady, you become stronger and stronger. So there is no reason, absolutely, that on this planet, you would need to have tantrums, fits, where we cannot dialogue, right? There's no reason, absolutely, to have the violence we have in our cultures, whether it be Western part, Eastern. Violence also is learned. It's learned behavior, right? Now we talk about love. We talk about everybody should be loving. God, there's only one. We're all children of same God. Not really. When it comes to life, we carry so many differences in us. But talking intellectually, it sounds very good. You go to a sermon, a katha, a satsang, you come back, oh yeah, very good, very good. We're all one, we're all, not really. When you get home, all of a sudden, you're not one with it's forgotten so quickly. So but the only time you will change is that you increase your power to examine. Now, when you're angry at someone, this is another way you can use. When you're angry, don't justify it. Don't start telling 10 people so-and-so did this, so-and-so did this. I want you to go in, look at yourself, that why are you so angry? These are life situations. What's making you so angry? Most of the time, the anger will be that because the person is not in your control. They're not doing what you expect them to do. That is the only anger you can have, right? So now you have to see you're not a robot. You're not meant to be controlled by others. Why should you be controlling others? Who told you it is your job to change the world? Did that person give you permission to change them? It goes for mothers, it goes for parents, it goes for spouses, do you have permission, their permission? Have you taken their permission to impose a behavior pattern on them, especially adults, right? Children, it's different. So it is very important to kind of mind your own business in terms of that you start to not get angry. You start to see, why am I so angry? Okay, maybe my expectations are not met. Let me understand what is actually happening to that person. You can even dialogue what is happening to you in your life. Okay, can we change the situation? It takes very, very, very bold people to actually come up and say, let's talk. Tell me, what do you think? Tell me what's on your mind. You know, it takes very bold people. The weak, the meek always attack first. The bold will say, tell me, what is going on in your life right now? Why? Can we do something, you know?
But that has to work two ways. When you are willing to talk, the other person should be willing to talk. If that doesn't happen, then what would one do? Like, let's say in her case, just say, because she said it. So supposing she understands as well, but if the other person is controlling, then what is she to do?
She will not be disturbed because she carries her own peace. She's already made up her mind that she's not going to become part of the conflict. Now, if somebody is yelling, she will make up her mind that my body will not shiver, will not go into fear, because nobody can attack my inside body and my mind. All hell can blow up, but my body, nobody has the right, and even I don't have the right. I will not give that permission to be disturbed. So that is the permission you give yourself not to be disturbed. So that is mindfully, that's mindful living, right? So when you just do small steps, I'm just telling you like few starting pointers, but when you start like that, slowly, intuitively, you'll develop other technique, other way. But always the thing that really you can save yourself is, tell me what's happening. Just talk to people. They want to be listened to. Nobody is willing to listen. Everybody wants to share, talk, right? So even if for the time being, we just shut up for 3 months and listen to people, what is their story? You will find a lot of pain people are going through. They have a lot of pain, and possibly their pain is deeper than yours. Possibly. At that time, you say that their pain is deeper than mine. How can I impose more conflict? I'm the stronger one here, right? So you back off. That is being compassionate, right? How many Facebook posts we have? Be compassionate, be compassionate. But do we act compassionate? No, right? So let us put this into practice, and then you share this wisdom with others. Another friend will come to know, now you can talk about it, you know, there was conflict, I did this, it actually worked. That's how wisdom spreads, like gossip. This also can spread just like that, right? Does that make sense? Anybody has any question around it? Or
Nobody has it.
but does that make sense? That so power, increasing the power to examine and being compassionate enough to say, tell me more, what's going on? What is happening? And that may not happen right away, but when things calm down, you can, you know, do that. Okay, anybody else? We've resolved this situation. I'm assuming nobody wants to add to it, or maybe you're thinking of how you will do it when you get home. You're running a practice session in your mind. Everybody's like, I can see, they've gone to their conflict level and imagining this.
I've gone through this whole of the last year, what you have said.
Yeah.
The whole of last year, it's been about this only.
Yeah.
So it's like I've come out from it with a hard lesson, which was made easier, you know, when we were talking to her.
Yes.
I learned the same lesson, but after a lot of trial and error.
Yeah. And it's a lot of years spent in chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. Last, I think 3-4 years.
Yeah. It's when we have this kind of stress, this nervousness, what happens is that after a while, the body gets nervousness, body starts to have a panic attack, even when it perceives that difficulty is coming. Because body doesn't know what's real or what's not real. If you program the fear, if the fear happens many times or nervousness happens, after a while, the body will say, it will just deliver that state again. If you make yourself peaceful, the body will start to deliver chemicals very quickly that will create more peace. So whatever you consciously program, the body is just, so it will get programmed into the system. So after a while, like I said, the body doesn't know what is true, what is not true. So a person who suffers like this, because they've suffered and suppressed, they haven't talked about it. You probably haven't told anybody that, you know, when you speak loudly, my body shivers, and this is what's happening in me. I really want to help you so we can have better ways, so our bodies don't get hurt. So after a while, the body starts to create sicknesses that will give you symptoms of the same thing that you experience. This is how disease happens a lot of times, psychosomatic disease too. We create disease of similar nature from the same pattern. Then you wonder, okay, now I have no conflict, my life is good, but now I have arthritis. Now I have headaches, migraine headaches coming on. Now I have this. Well, it just didn't happen. You created it, we created it blindly, unconsciously.
So my insecurities depend on conflict. If the conflicts are not there, so everything is fine.
Also, another thing is you're a strong woman. So if you don't get disturbed, you may find answers. See, today it may be other people. Tomorrow conflict may come at a personal level with somebody you are closely related to. If you go into the nervousness mode, you will not get answers because the frontal lobe shuts down, the body shuts down. So your intuition shuts down. You will not have bright answers. You will not be able to dialogue. So the damage is too great, too far great. So today it's with others, tomorrow, because conflict is part of life. People grow through challenges. They learn through challenges. They learn through pain. The deeper the pain, the more possibility of learning. Only few foolish people don't learn from deep pain. They need more pain. Most of us learn when the pain is deep. We'll say, okay, God, what is the message? You know, why am I? So if you can create peace now, you will save your health. You will have higher intuition, higher wisdom, because it's not cut off. Okay. Otherwise, these frenzies, you know, so this really, really leads into loss of your own power to access. So the damage is not somebody yelling conflict. It's actually way deeper. It's loss of the quality of good life. That is possible for you. Yeah.
But ma'am, if we want to sit and talk and resolve the conflicts, but the person is not ready to talk.
Yes.
He or she wants to stay in that misunderstanding, misconception. Yes. How to deal with that?
Yeah. So there's ways about that if the person, the question is, if the person is not ready to talk and does not want to, or is not, whatever the reason is. So first of all, you can talk to a friend about this and you can say, this is what's happening. So you can have conversation. So you get stronger in yourself. You can resolve the matter, not with them right now. Maybe you don't know what they're going through, but you know that they're going through something. They're not out there they are not born to punish you. So something has happened to them, you don't understand. So you start not to reflect, start to react. You start to create more peace actually. That, you know, I will create so much peace. With my peace, I will just send them more peace. And even if they can't, they don't know I'm sending it, something good will come. See, you also have your aura. The bigger the aura, the more peaceful and harmonious your aura, the more your environment changes. So one person can change the quality of mind for many people if they don't react. So you must come into that, you must assume that power, that I have the power to change my environment. And it's very few, you know, even when the world changes, only few people change it. People who are intensely focused on changing it, most of the people are followers. And you will notice sooner or later, either these people will be out of your energy totally, they'll just be gone because your aura can't hold conflict. So either they will become friends, or it will become neutralized, the situation. It's guaranteed, it's science. It's not, it's science, really. So, but as you take the power, take that, let me be the first one. A lot of people don't want to be the first one to shut up or to surrender. Nobody wants to put their weapons down, because have you noticed in arguments, you want to always say the last word. It's like the last word is the winner, the people think, right? Yeah. And so actually be the first to surrender, throw the weapons. And then don't continue. But
Everything done.
yeah.
But still that thing is not going. Like I'm talking about my
Yes,
son.
of course, of course.
Like hundreds of things done to solve the disputes.
Yeah.
Disputes between two brothers, mother and father, so parents and son,
Yeah.
brother and sister.
Okay.
Nothing.
So sometimes what happens is the karmic situations are very deep. They are meant to go through that pain and suffering. So you start to bring peace to yourself personally. You can't change them because maybe right now they haven't learned their lessons. So when people are in the strong karmic field, very strong karmic field, they cannot just very quickly stop, because part of their karma is to go through the conflict and learn through that and suffer. Suffering is very essential for people to come into wisdom. When a lot of people sadly get tired of suffering, then they drop the weapons, right?
But then that realization should come, no?
But if it comes to you, then you hold the peace. Be the first one. It doesn't take however long. At least you'll be the only one smiling. So smile. You can't change anything either way, so you might as well smile at it, right? So you're not disturbed.
No.
So you're part of the karmic situations in that dynamics, but you're not living the karma as for them. You've removed yourself, right? So be the first one to get out of the cycle. That's a great position to be, the first one. I love to be the first to open the door. Then others will follow when you open the door. Yeah. It's very hard, but the only way you will do it is in self-interest. You won't keep quiet because of them. You'll keep quiet because you don't want the damage. You don't want to age sooner, faster than you should. You don't want to get older. You don't want diseases, right? So you will stop the fight. Yeah. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm. And maybe we can share some fast meditation techniques quickly, so within seconds you can come into peace. So at least you can interrupt the pattern of, very quickly, within seconds you can interrupt the pattern. And that conflict energy is reduced instantly, just to give you a kickstart so you can choose a thought again. Otherwise you can't choose a thought when you're hurt or angry, right? So you need some quick, fast techniques in your toolbox in the mind that you can use quickly, and just so you'll have the choice option again to select another thought. Yeah. So now you're third.
Today I realized that I've learned to look at my stress in the body, like we taught
Yes.
me. Today I realized that I think I'm holding regret.
Yes.
Regret as to why couldn't I have learned faster? Why couldn't I change people? Like you said, change. But at that time, आपको लगता है कि आप समझा के लोगों को बदल सकते हैं. Because I did change. I've changed a lot.
So the question is,
and there's a lot of regret.
Of?
मैं ठीक नहीं कर पाई. My life went, my years. I've lost so many years. I lost so much peace. I lost. It messed up the children. I have a regret when I look at the children. I look back, and I was like, if I could do something, like why couldn't I do something?
Okay. So the question, the regret is coming to you because you couldn't change too many things. And you are, so there's two-pronged, like, why couldn't I do it? Am I lacking something, right?
Yes, there's a
Or are they stubborn enough that
there's a strong sense of I felt I'd read so much, I knew so much, and yet because eventually your family revolves around
Yes.
three people. You're not interested in changing the world. You just want that one person to understand that look, if we do it this way, there'll be more peace.
yeah,
And you put your whole life's energy in just trying to get that person to understand that don't do this, don't do this, let's not do this, and it does. So there's a lot of regret, and I feel that did I really have the power? I didn't. I knew everything. I could try, but I just couldn't change the
Yeah.
other person. I feel I don't know what it is. I feel I lost so many years.
okay. So when
Whatever,
you
it's a
want
regret
to,
about many things. Like I feel,
and so you are feeling that regret because you couldn't change the person. The other person probably is feeling angry and harassed because you not accepting them the way they were.
yeah.
So
No,
when we want to change something,
Yeah.
because we feel that it is right to change, fine,
Yeah.
and the other person is not ready or does not want to change.
Yeah.
So what do? Will you fight? How many years will you fight? They have not employed you to change them. They have not given you permission. I keep talking about permission. Did you have permission?
Yeah.
Okay. How many times they told you to leave them alone? Okay. So sometimes we are obsessed that change will come when we change something. This is obsession. So the sooner you realize that it doesn't happen, change has to come inside first. So if you can hold the change, and if you can let go of the control for a while, things probably start to shift. But if they're not shifting, then you have a choice whether to be there or not. So regret is, you can punish yourself. I could have left earlier, but you can feel the regret. I could have left earlier, but the fact is you didn't.
Exactly.
So
and
now,
I regret the damage to myself.
Damage to yourself. Now we've come 50 years, 40 years, whatever. Now we have regret. And when you latch on to emotion like shame or regret, shame and regret are two emotions which actually never leave you. They're the hardest because they're actually born, there's anger behind it because you don't deserve it. How could it have happened? You know, a lot of that. There's deep conflict behind these emotions. So now we couldn't change them. We feel really mad, angry. Now we wasted so many years, we have regret. So you have to decide on a date. Give yourself permission that after January 24th, 7 p.m. in the evening, I will not use regret. You have to give yourself permission. You're not bound by any emotion. There is no emotion that controls you. There are 10,000 emotions we human experience. You can't choose one of them. You have to choose regret only. So what I mean is that you choose your food, you choose your clothes, you choose your sleep time, you choose everything else. So we need to very quickly learn the emotion which one to choose.
Okay. So the thing is that I don't have, my thoughts don't go back on the past.
Yes.
I don't remember it.
Yeah.
But each time because the damage is done and that depression or whatever it is, that pulls me back and I say, I did this, like this is what the whole situation, the conflict did to me. You know?
Okay.
And like the feeling of powerlessness
Yeah.
is more because I feel that okay, now I know that it's me. I have to change it. I have to
Yeah.
change either myself or the situation. If I can't change the situation, I change myself or I leave the
Yeah.
situation. I didn't do it. Now I feel that जो damage हो गया है, I'm not able to undo it. I'm not able to. I'm on medication or I just. Why don't I have the power to completely be a new person again, to completely to be like
You
enlightened.
absolutely have it. You absolutely. But are you following the enlightened path or are you living by memory?
No,
now, there's two ways to live.
Yes, yes.
One is by memory. Okay?
Yeah.
Memory is the mind, to live through the mind. That this happened, you remember everything very selectively. There's no truth to that. It is only your personal truth. Because if there's something happened, this happened to me, that happened to me, I ask your sister, I ask your husband, they'll say, this never happened. You know, we don't even remember this. But to us, we could lay like, no, this is how it happened. So its memory is basically also our perspective on what happened, what we thought happened, what we believed happened. So what I'm saying is our basis of thinking is really poor, right? We have to change basically the entire process of thinking. Now, deep meditation, some techniques, all meditations won't do it. Like you don't go to a doctor who gives you Tylenol for every disease. There's specialists, there's special medicine for everything. If there's a heart problem, there's a heart medicine. If there's arthritis, there's another medicine. So like that, spiritual also realm, we have lots of techniques, only that work for that one situation we should be using. So if you are doing generic meditation, you're sitting, it will bring you some calm, some peace, but it doesn't resolve conflicts. It doesn't enlighten you. That power is not enough to enlighten you. So two things. First of all, you decide that starting today, I'm not thinking at all. That means I'm not even thinking my body is like this. I am accepting what is happening to my body, whether pain, whether whatever, as is. And I'm going to nurture that. I'm not finding a cause why it happened. Fine. That's where the regret is coming. That's memory.
Because you know that that thing was caused by that thing.
You don't know. You don't know.
Exactly.
You have no idea.
If I hurt my foot just by walking on the road, I wouldn't blame the road.
Exactly.
I would. There's no memory attached to the fact that I broke my foot or something.
Yeah. So but however, when you walk on the same road where you fell once, you will never walk. You will walk with your eyes open later.
Yeah.
That's memory. So what happens is that you start to actually give yourself first permission that after this date, and when you want to change something, how do you change it? You first change the word by word. You don't talk about it. If you don't want to attract, the law of attraction works with word, not just feeling. Words have feelings also, right? The words are very powerful. They create destiny. So one thing is that you start to use the words, this happened to me, my body was all messed up, I should have left early. Now you don't have these conversations. You start to treat your body not as pounds and flesh and not as a sick body. Like the way you're describing your body, it's almost like, oh, it's panicking and this is. Now I'm saying, this is your only temple. How would you describe your temple to me?
Exactly. So my point is that I want to make it all right. I have a life where at office I have no conflict.
No, you don't have to make it all right. I'm saying, I'm saying, if the heaviness is coming, it's like suppose you eat something, you have constipation. Okay? So you treat it. You do something for it then. If you're feeling heavy, you do something for it then. You take medication, you take whatever, but then you drop it at that. You symptomatically, you just treat that. You learn techniques, maybe fast techniques to breathe. So when the panic comes, you can breathe. You can take anti-anxiety medication, whatever, homeopathy, anything else, because it's a body of chemicals, there's chemistry. Sometimes you need support, natural supplements to calm your nerves down. You need something from outside. Do that. But don't relate it now to it happened then, because that is your guess. That is your guess.
More than anything, I feel, why couldn't I change? Why
no,
I change?
This anger is only because you don't have anybody else to get angry with right now. You're by yourself. So anger is a habit. There's nobody else there, you're beating yourself. The minute you get somebody else, you'll be beating them. See, it's very important. It's very important to realize anger is anger. You're either beating somebody else or yourself. So when you beat yourself, it's very hard because people don't give you permission to beat them 24/7. But you can give yourself permission to beat yourself even in your dreams. Right? Even in your dreams, you can panic. This is permission you've given.
So it's
to your psyche.
inflicting punishment on yourself.
It's self-punishment. Yeah. And there's no, you just don't need to know why it happened, because whatever happened is you would not understand anyways, right?
Yeah.
You're guessing. Yeah, you're guessing. So two things you would do: stop, make a strong willpower. You're not going to talk about why, where, unless you're with a psychologist or a doctor or a professional.
I don't talk about.
Fine.
I don't.
Okay.
Don't even remember it.
Second thing is you start to nurture the body. You do things in your life that you have wanted to do all your life and couldn't do.
I am.
Right. So you implement those things. You bring in the passion, you bring in, good feeling into the body. Breathing from the heart is very, very important in this, because your heart holds the most electromagnetic energy. It is the highest field, more than the brain. So when you actually focus on the heart and breathe through the heart, you will slowly start to change the signals. There will be straight, clear signals going into the brain, then through the body, and the messages stay clear. It's very coherent then. So something like that, when this is happening, you use the heart technique. When you create a good feeling, so what happens, sometimes you can actually go back to your life, even as a child, when you felt just good. You can just imagine. Sometimes you're watching a cricket match or a movie and you're feeling good, right? Just that feel. You're looking at a leaf and you just felt good. Bring that feeling. And then now go and breathe 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, focusing on the heart. So this will send the messages to the body. So your electromagnetic energy, all of a sudden the aura starts to shift and get stronger, stronger, stronger. Also the law of attraction. Now you're using your word carefully. Now also the law of attraction. What is the language of the universe? How do you communicate with the universe? Anybody? It's feeling. It's feeling. What you feel is how the universe will talk to you. It'll give you back the same feeling. It's feeling. It doesn't understand those words that you understand, right? So the language is feeling. Okay? So when we speak to, very strangely, when you pray and you pray to God, help me, heal me, whatever, right? Give me this, give me that. A lot of people pray with panic and fear. And they worry, what if the prayer is not heard, right? So inside you worried, even when you're praying, you don't pray because of love of something. You pray because of fear of something, right? So you attract that same poverty, you wonder, why is my life not changing? Well, everything you're putting out, you're feeling, is based on poverty consciousness. So it's feeling tight, feeling low, feeling this. So it's very important to mimic something, just imagine it, then get into the heart. 3 times, 4 times a day, you can do these heart meditations, and the rhythmic breathing, so equal breath, inhale, exhale, within seconds you're at peace. So slowly 1 month later, you're accessing a different field of intelligence, not through the memory bank. There's a different intuition and intelligence coming in. That makes sense?
Absolutely.
So these are just starting points, but they're very powerful. Yeah. So see, now we're talking to different people, but you see how common the issues are. I'm sure that you are relating to. That's why we do this in groups. It's so important to do the hot seat in groups. Yeah. Okay, anybody else? I don't have my glasses. There's a lot of people who've joined us, but I can see some friends here. I'll know Shivani, many others. So please, you can send in questions. Actually, I can see without the glasses too, so you can answer some of those too. Yeah, I guess my eyes are not as bad as I think they are, because on the bigger computer, it's on the iPhone, I can't see. Okay, so anybody else? What else? Anything coming up? Anything you want to resolve today? When you resolve one piece, it's a whole different dynamo effect. Sometimes you need to, just one thing is resolved, other things start to fit. This is the spiritual realm. You don't have to fix yourself piece by piece. You take one piece, you fix that one piece, understand it, and use some technique. And then all of a sudden there's a breakthrough, big breakthrough, just from that one thing.
So, we have a question. I went through a lot of things in my own self last year. So some of the realizations have come, but I've been observing that there are some patterns that keep on repeating, like on loop. Like every few years, I find myself in the exact same situation.
Yeah.
And I keep saying or keep expressing to people that I'm not comfortable. This is not me. I cannot do this. Okay, it looks like it resolves. Every few years down the line, I am again at the same place with the same person doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So I tried to break the pattern last year, like in December and somewhere around there, and it has worked. But my question is, why do these patterns come up with the same people or same type of people?
Yeah, same type of people. So the question is that why do I repeat patterns even though I'm working very hard? After a few years, I'm meeting the same situation, sometimes with the same people. So if you look at it, your patterns, most of your life, where is your mind? Where is your mind stored? It's basically the subconscious. These are all your feelings, your perspectives of what you did, mostly unfinished business is stored there. So 95% subconscious, 5% conscious mind, right? So when we are acting, a lot of us are acting from the subconscious, basically. So that's why, and subconscious is all patterns. So in order to create a breakthrough, again, there's certain techniques you can do, but you may want to work one-on-one with somebody to act. Patterns are, when you break a pattern, you break karma. You're liberated. You're asking for something very big, not just a little pattern. Because as I said, your one pattern is holding you in the karmic field. When you break that, it could create enlightenment, that one thing. So you need to work with specialized people who do that, so they can see and watch and give you more energy than you can create for yourself. You can't resolve a lot of the same mind that created the problem will never resolve it. We sometimes think that we have changed. A lot of people think we're changed. But when you talk to them and you show them the mirror, they didn't change. They just went around and things look a bit different. Nothing really changed. You just moved. So you need somebody. If you're very serious about your lives, you need somebody to really put on the floodlights and then break the pattern with you. That can happen. In olden days, to break the karma, you went into ashrams. You lived with masters for 10 years, 5 years. You served them. They served your enlightenment. They served you to live ever after as a liberated person, right? So there was a lot of give and take. Now we don't have that. We want enlightenment from a workshop. If possible, free. If possible, it should be free, right? Now, you will only grasp what your mind can see, right? So you need maybe something, if you're serious really, then the goal is very powerful. This brings me to another where we stopped, Arif, the other day, that what is the biggest intention for human beings for life? What should be, because we can't live without goals. You need small goals. In every day you need a goal, right? If you wake up, you don't know what you're doing that day. How is your day? You'll never get out of bed. You just don't have the energy. Your energy comes from a drive, from a goal. The minute you make a list, all of a sudden you've got the energy to do it, right? The only way you will draw energy is when you have a goal. So you need small goals, daily goals. You need some maybe weekly goals, and you need monthly, yearly goals. Maybe, then you need some financial, they keep changing, health, they keep changing, children, they keep changing. So what is your one big goal that you could hook your consciousness to that always gives you the drive? What is that? Anybody?
Can you repeat?
So what are your intentions, the biggest intention?
To be the best that you can be, to do, to know in every way, to feel, to live life to a maximum,
Okay.
and to achieve like every skill that you can, because
Yeah.
it keeps driving
Yeah.
you. Like for a long time, I didn't understand this, but I think that I was driven, even though there was so many other problems in my life. I was driven only because I wanted to learn stitching. I wanted to be the best. It was like that in my mind, I have to be the best. I have to know this. I have to know this. I have to know this. I have to. So eventually, even all these years, I didn't realize, but I learned so many things, whether it was, whether it was regarding health, Ayurveda, homeopathy. I didn't think twice that I couldn't do it. And that drive, I just kept learning, even while there was so much of
So to
conflict,
keep learning.
chaos. You just have to, because even learning becomes a goal. मुझे ये
Yes.
जानना है.
Yeah.
I have to.
See, learning is a goal. What about the quality of the mind? You can only absorb as per the quality of your mind.
Yeah.
You can learn 10,000 other things. You can still be a very unhappy person with all the skills.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
One thing just connected to what she said, is she wanted to be the best.
Yes.
So is it good to be the best, or is it good to be aspiring to be the best?
She's basically trying to be to what she was.
No.
Like if I did
I mean that too.
yeah,
It's
like,
just the entire concept
like
of being the best.
Yeah.
My question is, the first part of the question is it good and aspiring to be the best, not comparatively.
In
Just the
spiritual growth, no.
Yeah.
Being best is the highest stress
And the
possible.
second part of the question is,
But personal growth, no, but you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that.
It's like,
but personal growth is very different than spiritual growth, right? Self growth.
Yes.
Right?
There were different things.
Yeah.
When I had the spiritual growth, it was a completely different thing. You can't, the rules don't apply. Like that stress, what you're saying, like if I decided to do embroidery, in 2-3 stitches, I would just get it so perfectly right that I knew that इससे ज़्यादा perfect नहीं होएगा.
Okay, so basically it's a skill. It's a skill.
My skill development, I just wanted
You wanted to do a skill.
Everything.
But like I said, skill development is really good, serves you. But does it make you even happy? It didn't take away your body pain. You still have regret.
It didn't.
No, you still have
I didn't
regret.
address that. Yes. I didn't address
so it
that.
didn't change your quality of life.
It didn't.
So
But
the answer actually lies
but
there.
in lots of ways, like I agree with what you're saying, and I understand that. But the very fact that I was doing embroidery, it was therapeutic for me.
Okay, so that is different.
So
that's stress management.
Because I loved it. No,
yeah.
Because I was not thinking of stress. I loved embroidery. I loved knitting, the thrill of making a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So the thing is that unconsciously, I was not planning that I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So it's therapeutic.
Yeah.
But looking back, I realized how therapeutic it got me through all that.
So you answered it yourself. Yes. It's basically therapeutic value. That's all.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
So now you are saying to create. To create, whatever. Keep creating, keep creating. Okay. Yeah, that's good. What else?
I think it's just to be comfortable with who you are as a person
and
finding some place where you are at peace with yourself.
Okay, at peace with yourself. Okay, because you'll never know who you are.
Yeah.
There's not, that can't be defined.
No, and you keep changing, right?
Yeah, but you're at peace with whatever is happening to you. Okay. So another option I'm just suggesting could be that I want the brightest intellect possible. I want to liberate myself of old conditioning, of old patterns of suffering. Because you could be doing anything, but if you're subconscious, if there's suffering in there, if there's all this heavy duty burden there, you're going to still have a very possibly stressed life. You're going to create situations where the stress comes again. So you're creating stress.
And actually, but the thing comes only when you know it.
So
if
now,
it,
what if your goal was, in old times, we called it enlightenment. It was a goal, liberation was enlightenment. In new times, we can say nirvana, self-realization, whatever, right? That goal is right now, awakened one, whatever. So when that happens, what happens is now, what is the difference between an awakened person and what is a difference between a non-awakened person? Awakened person always knows that whatever they're doing is by their will. Even if they think others have a control, they know it is their will creating. Somewhere they're creating their disasters. Somewhere they're creating their life the way it's happening. They take responsibility. They take responsibility for everything, everywhere they are 100% of the time. That is one thing. Second thing is they also know that they're here very much on a temporary basis. And all the people who they may be having love with or conflict with are their very near and dear, chosen by them. Because they couldn't resolve something, they're back into the scene trying to resolve, maybe now, with situation. So every situation for them makes them stronger. Makes them stronger because every situation they do with full responsibility and mindfulness. That this situation, this conflict will help me. This person, by telling me off, by being angry today, has helped me that now I can be stronger, I can feel peace. So everything that's happening to them is advantageous to them. That is the big difference about being liberated and not, right? Liberated mind, enlightened mind. They see every situation. If they don't sleep, they use that to read a book. Or they don't say insomnia, I'm stressed, I'm not sleeping. They will actually quickly say, okay, today no sleep. Maybe there's something else I need to do. And intuitively, they'll start to do that. So, so what happens is they live situation to situation. They don't create legacies of, I will leave $1 million behind, I will leave 3 children and so many dogs and blah, blah, blah. Their legacy is that every situation I lived with responsibility and pride. Nobody broke me. I lived with my own will. That is the legacy of will they create. That is the enlightened mind. When each situation, sickness, death, hurt, happiness, is serving you, when every human being, even a stranger, is serving you, imagine that world. You cannot have enemies. Even your enemies are friends. Right? So the whole perspective changes. So this is the great difference between basically brilliance, enlightened mind, and then living from that faith. They don't have faith outside. They may have. I'm not saying you don't go to temples or people or whatever, but they have faith that I will do the best I can at any given situation. They also are best learners. They never say, I know everything, ever, because they don't know. They know that they don't know. They know that when they're in crisis, a stranger could come, an enemy could come, somebody could come to help them. They're always listening to people. They're always listening. How many times I have seen where people will come, they will tell me what they want to. They're there to listen to me, but I'm listening to them. You know? So sometimes I actually play this game, let them talk. You know, then they go away feeling very good. That I'm good, very good. She's really very good. You know? So I got so much peace. So she's really a good person. I could see the light in her. I saw this light. They saw nothing. They only heard, they just got the benefit of being heard. Right? And you can see the annoyed faces of the rest of the audience. everybody else is like, shut up. When are they going to stop? Because, but, so what I'm saying is that when we start to listen, every situation, now it'll be birds who will speak to you. The morning crow who you think is making noise will all of a sudden messages delivered, because the messages come from everywhere. It's not just one teacher, the whole universe starts to communicate with you, right?
To be usually that goal that you're talking about, it is actually the real goal eventually.
It's the only goal, the only goal.
What I'm saying is कि लेकिन जिसने इतनी सफरिंग नहीं ली होती ना, वो तो अभी वो ये चीज सोच भी नहीं सकता.
तो तभी तो उसको खोज है ना.
वो दुख होता है, he gets over it and he says, now I can deal with it, and then suddenly there's a good time in his life.
But that is
the complete suffering नहीं होती, तब तक वो goal भी नहीं बनता.
Not really. No. Some people are just very smart. They cut short the suffering process because they realize that, I'm suffering, right? So there's something to be said about stubbornness also. But how many times do you need to die to be awakened, enlightened? Kitne janam aur? Kitne din aur? I usually tell people, give yourself a date. Kal ki date de do, ya parson ki de do, or do it 3 months later. Give yourself a time where you will stop your nonsense and stop suffering. Give yourself that date to live. Right?
At the end of the day, it is that only.
It's only that.
You need to be kinder to yourself.
You need to be strict and ruthless. Not kind, ruthless. That is kindness. That's compassion.
Absolutely.
That is the most compassionate act. When you become ruthless, when you fall, you don't blame others. You pull yourself from your hair and you lift your own self. You don't wait for others to come. So that is basically, also what happens is, when you know you are here for a beautiful legacy, maybe this life you've taken, incarnated, will never happen again. You will never look this way again. You will never be on the same this planet that way. Your parents will not be the same. Situations will not be the same. So this life is one-time performance, one time only. So now how do you act then? You have no other chance to come back.
Very different.
Very different. When you know every situation is helping you, you love life. You meet people, you meet your morning with a smile. You meet each other. You may not know people. You may not talk to them, but there's a smile. There's an inside smile in you. In your heart is always smiling. You also, when you know every situation is serving you, how can you have regret, hurt, or anything? Now you quickly start to automatically support others. Enlightenment is not the goal, I will get enlightened. Your enlightenment is not complete till the collective consciousness becomes enlightened, because you will still wake up with nightmares. So enlightened people have strong goals that I will enlighten the world. Those who are ready, I will enlighten them, right? So you start to share techniques. You start to share wisdom. You start to share. You don't create masks. You don't hide mask your feelings. You're not ashamed of your shortcomings, because those shortcomings also have value, right? You can actually, you're not ashamed of what happened to you, what parents did, what you did. There's nothing to be regretful about. There's nothing to be sorry about. Yesterday was a beautiful day. You just didn't see the beauty. Sun still rose. The breeze was still there. You missed out on the whole thing. To you, it was a dark day. But the universe was still open. The doors were open. God was listening. God was speaking. Everything was going on. And when you know, you never know one day, what is that last moment? You don't even know that. So what do enlightened minds do? They know that the last day could be this day. So they live, they do whatever they want to do. Every situation they create. They don't wait for the day end. Now you sleep like a baby. You're always restful.
I want to do something, but lack of confidence, I can't. How to improve myself to do something? I want something, but I'll try, but...
Okay, so most of us do some things to succeed in something, for success, right? Which is a good goal. But if you did something that this is my passion, I want to do it, It's not, nobody is telling you, it's self-appointed mission. It's my mission to do it. However I do it, I'm going to do it, right? If you did it with that, there's no sense of failure or there's no measure. Fulfillment is when you start to do it. Fulfillment comes from doing it. I'm going to break a very powerful myth today. And people in the audience out there, please, please listen. This is really crucial. Our happiness, our fulfillment, our contentment does not come from outcomes. It comes from doing something. Tomorrow, you'll see that. I'll do the dishes, you do the dishes, I'll do the floor, I'll do the floor, I'll wrap this, I'll put on makeup, I'll do this. Small, small, or I'll call so-and-so. You just do, but do it mindfully. I will do it, I am doing it. I will do it, I did it. I will do it, I did it. When it's only. Now what happens after that, you'll say, I did so much. Like, because you didn't use the mind really. You were just in action, action, action mode. From action, you got more energy. Energy has intuition, you know. It has, all of a sudden, some friend may come, hey, did you try this? Did you try this? Oh, let's do it. So you are not here for profit loss. You're not here to look good in people's eyes. It doesn't matter what you do. Have you noticed about Mahatma Gandhi? The world used to worship Mahatma Gandhi. Now there's so much negative on, even you Google it. That was he really the father of the nation, you know? So everybody will be in time. Everything you do is wiped off. It has happened to the best of the best. It will happen to you too. So you're not here to show off, not here to prove a thing to yourself or anybody else. Right? It's just pleasure. I'm alive. I want to do it. That's it. So start with small things. All of a sudden you're doing third, fourth day, you will feel bold because you're not thinking. There's no difference between, you don't need more boldness to do a big action. That again is a myth. You only need to do it, it will become a bold action. It will look like a bold action. But give up the notion of how will it look, what will it do. You know, when you get tired, I will sleep now. If you're feeling sad, I may cry now. Do it mindfully. Give yourself permission to think, to feel bad, to feel good. Right? Now you're in the flow. You're not aborting, you're not stopping feelings. I shouldn't be doing this, I shouldn't be doing that, I shouldn't be doing whatever. Right? So you're not stopping the process. So you're gaining momentum and energy. So I'm going to be bold enough to say, if your life is not what you think it should be, only you are responsible. Wake up and take responsibility. And there is no job, big or small, ever in life. If you start to move your muscles, move your energy, you're going to get so much energy. And then support from others quickly comes, right? So unlived life is the most regretful thing. Yeah. Fully lived life, you did it. Irrelevant of what results were, you did it. You will be so full, you will not need to be liberated at 80. You will not need peace. Your goal will not be happiness. You will actually be so busy in action, you will have no mind to think of these concepts, right? So please, please just try. This will be on Facebook after this. So you can actually listen to this again, go on Facebook. You can listen to this video again and again and make points if you need to for yourself. Because every day you listen to it, it'll seem different. Oh, I missed out on that. See, because when I'm talking, you are thinking. And then you missed out on the second, third thing I said, right? So there's no way you'll absorb it in one go. So you, and then write down and then say, okay, I'm going to start with this today. Okay. So one technique I shared with you is the heart technique. In order to get quick, instant relief from emotions, what do? You actually, when you open your eyes and inhale, you feel everything, you experience everything, emotions, feelings. So just open your eyes, you'll be thinking, see? You're thinking. You cannot be just breathing. You will be thinking. Even if you're thinking about your breath, you are thinking. Now, I want you to close your eyes and focus on exhale only. When you are closed eyes, focusing only on inhale, don't mind inhale, exhale, exhale, you will not be able to think. Split second, there's no thought. Nobody taught us this, that there was instant break, right? So only focus on exhale. So you cut off the thinking instantly. Thinking is not happening. So one is the mind, the active mind, and one is the no mind. The exhale takes you to the no mind, no mind. So I want you to think of God, whatever that means to you. So you can think of God, you will see images, you may get feelings, inhaling. When you exhale, you will not be able to think, because whatever you're thinking of, you will become that. You will become one with it. This is the miracle of human consciousness. Instant manifestation of whatever you think, you become. Okay. Notice that?
Actually, I was concentrating on my breath. Like that. I realized that.
But only focus on exhale.
Then that time it was
Blank?
Totally
Total blank?
Yeah.
Okay.
As
Now,
if you're dropping something.
yeah, it dropped. The world dropped. Your world that you're carrying, the world you carried has gone. Because you became the world. You became one with it. So you're no longer separated. In thinking, when you think with separation always, right? Because it's the I consciousness. Then you just become it. So this is an instant. If you want to change an emotion, you're feeling whatever I don't feel like it, I want to feel this way. Focus just for 2 minutes, 1 minute on exhale, only exhale. Not on breathing, the whole breathing cycle. Yeah, only exhale. And then you will start to get at peace. Now you can choose, you have the power to choose the emotion because you're no longer caught up or trapped in that old emotion. So it's instant break free from everything. And if you do it for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you will get addicted. You want to do it for 2 minutes, 3 minutes all the time because you've never had this peace before. So highly successful in the weather liberated people who are high creators, high achievers, creators, they have habits. They all have habits that serve their goals. So a couple of these habits you can bring are to use the word only when you need to. Start your day with exhale or heart. Start your day. Go to bed, end of the day, do heart meditation. Okay. Put your intention of, first intention, I want to be the best mind I can be. The best, I want to have liberated mind, whatever that means. You will know. Now you can have also goals that, for instance, you're looking for healing, you're looking for money, you're looking for a job, you're looking, whatever those goals are, they will keep changing. So those goals you can also think of, go to the heart. This is sending the message to the universe. But then during the day, make sure, because the instant you send the message, that moment intuition starts to come. You'll get idea, should I call so-and-so? But then you think, why should I call so-and-so? That person never talked to me about. See, all of a sudden we start to no, say no. So the universe is giving you exactly how you should do it, but we are saying no, no, no. Sometimes the universe says, like your body needs rest, you just need to lay down. Then you say, no, no, I must get up because now it's 6 o'clock. So you don't follow your intuition, right? So you get it intuitively. So and start to listen to other people or other things. Maybe on a radio channel, there's something playing, the answers there, right? And then act it, act from it. When you take the first action, follow the intuition. When you take the first action, second time you hear, it will be louder. Third time, louder. If you don't follow what is coming, you will not be able to hear. The voice becomes really low. The inner voice becomes really low. So the goal to make money, to whatever, are all your living goals. You need this. But you only need it because you have life. Just life goals, right? But the mind will go with you wherever, after death, before death. That type of energy, that dimension is never lost. Once awakened, you don't lose awakening. It's not like it'll be reversed or somebody will rob it from you, right? So that is your first goal. Second goal serves the first goal, right? So, how is that? I don't know how long we've gone, but I think we have about maybe 10 minutes.
1 hour, 15 minutes.
Okay, so we can maybe another 5 minutes. We can take some questions or whatever else.
Anything.
कुछ भी पूछ आज तो पूछ ही ले आज
Of course, you went into this channel.
With those exhale things, my questions also dropped.
yeah they do.
I was trying to recall it. What was the question I was supposed to
yeah
ask?
yeah
अपना टाइम इनहेल एक्सहेल हम करते हैं मेडिटेशन कभी इस चीज पे ध्यान ही नहीं दिया कि एक्सहेल करते वक्त मतलब आपने क्या सोच के करना हम तो इनहेल एक्सहेल
yeah
बस यही
Our mind is fixed at a certain point inside, in a loop, and we are just breathing.
no, actually what has happened is nobody taught us this.
Yeah.
This is the key for you to shut off the system. This is a natural inbuilt system of actually shutting off. Cooling system, एक cooling system है body का खुद का. But ये किसी ने सिखाया नहीं. योगा सिखा दी, प्राणायाम सिखा दी कि breathe करो, करते रहो, तो करते रहो. तो हाँ, health better हो जाएगा थोड़ा, flow better हो जाएगा. But when you, these are powerful techniques. Why exhale? How exhale works? How inhale works? Inhale works to imagine, to blow up the imagination. Or be imagine karo. So you can create your world with imagination. Exhale is totally coming, shutting down. So you're resting point all the time. Also, जब हम इतनी karma create करते हैं, it's like iCloud. सब इकट्ठा होता रहता है, energetically इकट्ठा होता रहता है. One of the powerful ways to exhaust that also is focus on exhale. Because वो energy को वो destroy कर देगा, जो नहीं चाहिए. या अब मैंने आपको बताया, तो आपको inhale और exhale को equal में करना है, ठीक है? Equal amounts. Focus आपने exhale में करना है और उसका मजा लूटना है. That's all. You're going to, that is your maza zone. If you do nothing with that, miraculously, in 1 month's time, update लिख लो. You will say, oh my God, मैंने कितना कुछ कर लिया. Because a lot of things happen when your mind जो है, troubling mind, जो questions करता रहता है कि क्यों कर रहे हो, क्या कर रहे हो, that's set aside, right? So somehow the inner, the soul mind starts to rise because it has the opportunity now, because that all dust has settled. So exhale will do that. The old, some sages would tell them, okay, go do 2 years of exhale only, come back. They never came back because they were enlightened. Yeah. Just don't go to home.
The question is, when you like to constant exhale, it kind of, does it differentiate between your body? Who's the body in you and who's the mind in you?
It actually, what you're doing is you're coming into a resting consciousness. There's no mind there. You're breathing, so the body is there, obviously, but there's no mind there.
So where exactly does the mind
stop?
Stop.
Yeah, yeah.
Where exactly does the body start, or
Yeah,
vice
yeah,
versa?
yeah, yeah.
And who
They are not,
is you in between?
They're not stopping as such. We think, because we are thinking of these questions. So you must answer this question yourself, because this is what you need to experience. Where does it stop? But I'm just going to give you a clue. Nothing has stopped, but it's a different consciousness you're accessing.
And how?
Yeah.
Thing is nothing is good consciously.
Yeah.
And to live a life of nothingness, when I mean nothingness in terms of thoughts, in terms of all that, like you trip.
Yeah.
You trip yourself with one thought to another thought
Yeah.
to another thought.
Yeah.
Like whatever we discussed, the problem, let it be anger, let it be rejection or insecurity. More often we have the answers to ourselves.
Yes.
But just because we keep tripping.
Yeah.
So why is it becoming difficult to arrive at a solution when we already know a solution?
We've never learned we have learned to question. We have never learned to answer the question. Who taught you? Nobody. Right? So you ask yourself a question. Oh, I got the answer. But the answer came from only your programmed mind. Right? Then that's why your answer changes very quickly. 2 weeks later, oh, no, it wasn't that. This one, So that one. So another thing is when we say nothingness, the word is no-thingness. That means that no thing, no material, no matter as such. So, what we call timeless, we can call that because the particles, if you rip them apart, all that, there is non-existence, right? It looks, yet it is existing. So this dynamics, you actually understand when you're in this experience and if you've built the experience. When told by me or somebody else, actually you will not know because you're intellectually thinking about it.
So intellect, good.
Yes, absolutely. Very important to have a bright intellect. Very sharp. It's very important. It's because how will you understand? To comprehend, your ability to connect, your ability to logically understand something, be rational. It all comes from the intellect.
So where do you draw a line between intellect and junk?
Well, there is feelings. There's feelings. There's intellect is different, right? There's emotions. There's thinking. The intellect is different. So if you want to, like the sun, they say, light of 1,000 suns in us, right? That is brightening the intellect and the intelligence. Then you can access that intelligence. So that comes when there is less clutter or less debris in space around you first, in you also. So this exhale also detoxifies. It burns off the carbons from the liver. So your body functions much better also. So not only is it just physical, we are taught in yoga what maybe it does, right? But it burns off the carbons, your liver is a lot better, but if they don't tell you, okay, that's all they tell you ever, right? So your digestive system improves a lot more. But focus, this was by the rishis who told us that you have the power to create the world and then destroy it or be part of, or to stop the world. You can activate it, you can stop it. You can activate it, like open your eyes, the world becomes alive. Close your eyes, the world dies. You've heard of Shiva stories, Lord Shiva stories? This was what he was doing. Exhale, the world dies. Then everything comes alive, right? So when you can learn this exhale technique and the wisdom of the exhale, you know what I will do? I'll send to somebody article I wrote for South Asian women's magazine.
Exhale one.
The wisdom of exhale. It was written, it was a longer article than what we published here.
I saw.
It's a full page article. We'll send it. So you'll actually read the wisdom I'm talking about.
You can put it on the enlightened group.
Yeah.
And we can.
Yeah.
Enlightened group.
I'll put it on that. I'll also put it on the Facebook. It's really worth it. It's the simplest thing. It works like magic. And it will give you everything that you cannot even dream about. Because you only dream according to what you think you can achieve. You won't dream of what you don't think you can have, right? So our dreams are very limited too. Most of us don't even have dreams, we have nightmares. Like our dreams are nightmares. And we're scared to dream. We're scared to dream. We're scared to do things. We're scared to whatever, right? So, but I think this, if you did nothing, you just practice the wisdom of the exhale and the heart. And just go back to the video, listen to pointers, what relates to you, and start to put it to action. But share with people. If you don't share, you will forget. When you share, you can talk about it. Wisdom needs to be shared like gossip, more than gossip. Right? Over cups of coffees, in cafeterias, in over brunches, in weddings, everywhere wisdom needs to be, Gossip spreads so fast like fire. Wisdom actually, people hold us, they don't even share their gurus. वो भी नहीं बताते कि कहाँ से उनको मिला है. After a while, they even forget the guru gave it. They actually think I did it myself.
It's more of a marketing strategy, actually, not to share wisdom. Because the moment you share wisdom, products will stop selling.
They'll stop selling. Yeah. So we should become, that's a great goal actually. Yeah, I'm going to share wisdom only. If I must share, I will share wisdom. Something that will help somebody else too. That helped me, now it will help somebody else. Yeah.
And these days, I think it's not appreciated also when you share wisdom.
No, there's a lot of chaos right now. It's the highest level of chaos right now. Highest level of recorded depression, dementia, highest level of divorce, highest level of legal conflict right now. Highest levels recorded in our history and worldwide phenomena right now. Chaos and anxiety and panic attacks. Highest level right now. At this time, people will be open to wisdom because they have no other choice. Their cleverness is not going to work. And things are so changing so fast. Like your businesses could go down very quickly. They could go up very quickly. Your relationships are good today. Tomorrow they are enemy. Everything is inconsistent in these days. Very inconsistent. So if you are not flexible, and just very present to your situation, you will die a hard death every day. The times have changed. Did you see the rush, how quickly we are thinking? How quickly, fast speed. Everybody wants to go fast, fast, fast. Rush, rush, rush. So this is the sign of the times. But it's also the age of enlightenment. So it's good. I think I have a feeling anything that really works should be shared. People inside want relief from that high stress.
Everybody is going through very similar situations in their personal life.
Similar,
like,
very
exactly
similar.
Situations.
Yeah.
Like I have known people in my circle who were going through the same emotions that I was at that particular time.
Yes.
And only after we shared that we realized that the same thing.
Yeah. Another thing that is the age of transparency. If you don't want to tell somebody, then you should not be doing it.
But now, if we go on telling our problem to people, they also start ignoring. People don't like to listen.
They don't want to hear.
They are not comfortable with everyday negative thing. If I talk everyday negative, it would have this happened. So you also think this lady is all negative vibes.
You won't take their phone calls.
Yeah.
People actually are recognizing that so-and-so has a negative aura.
What we should do, whom we should talk.
Yeah, I think stay positive yourself. And you can change the subject very quickly. So if somebody is there who's talking like that.
But if I want to talk about my problems.
Yeah, to who?
I have to speak.
Okay, so when you talk about your problems, are you looking for a solution or are you just wanting to share your heart?
No solution.
Okay, then actually you should find the person who has the experience to help you. Somebody who has gone through it.
friends?
No, they can't help you.
They can't.
They will tell you. They will tell you their
lives.
problem. They will tell you their problem.
Just what's on the situation.
Yeah, it
I
does.
feel people they have different agendas,
If you have a bad, like example,
And they will think of it differently also, right? They see the different perspective
Yeah,
from your
yeah.
perspective.
that wisdom. And eventually, I think a psychotherapist is.
So actually, if you have it's somebody who's experienced it, psychologist or somebody who's trained, because then you go in and out, get the answer, get the resolve. You don't have to face it again. With friends, it's every day. It doesn't go away. It builds. And friends have a way of being one up. So if you say, oh, this happened, they'll say, I know it happened to my neighbor, but it was really bad what happened to her. So one worse. People find pride in saying, yeah, I've suffered more than you.
And also,
Yeah.
and also your friends are those ones who want to see you fall.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the moment you go share,
That's
they
terrible if you have
they
friends
kind
like
of
that.
they have it all over.
Yeah, it is. It
They
is.
have it all
No,
over.
I agree with you.
No, actually, most of the people, I'll tell you why this is true. What you're saying, it's true because a lot of people don't know what to do. They are anxious, they're hurt, they're hiding it because society shame, they don't want to. So they are actually holding this terrible fiery feeling and hurt themselves. They don't know really what to do. So they don't have answers. So they're feeling shitty, they're feeling really bad. Now you come and say, guess what, my life is blah, blah, blah. I say, really? You know, so it's natural envy, which happens also in brothers, siblings. It happens because, you know, it's really hard because when you're going through a tough time, to see somebody rising, you falling. So you have to have a lot of compassion and you don't need their recognition. You can start to support the weak ones. There's always people weaker than you. There's always people stronger than you. So as you draw strength, you must share, right? We are sharing our breath right now. It's not, I'm not saying my breath will only stop here, then I will breathe from what I exhaled. I can't. We are all inhaling, exhaling, same air, same toxin, same good air, same whatever, right? Same. So we actually are collective sharing the same thing. So if we are a little compassionate, even if people are envious, okay, so what? It's natural. They're suffering more than you right now. So it's fine.
And they also sort of derive some sort of, not the egoistic pleasure by.
But that is only their suffering.
Yeah.
There nobody wants to actually. I have a strong belief in humanity.
True.
I have actually turned sinners into saints. When people have challenged so and so will never change, I will say, okay, give me this person, let me change them. Because there is no such thing as solid mind. It's a floating consciousness. You're not good and bad. You may do things that hurt others, but you can do things to help others. So always there is a second will. There's always freedom. You can always change anything, everything. And nobody's ever all good and nobody's ever all bad, right? So we have to be very, very compassionate and we have to drop the weapons. First inside, then by word, outside. Okay? So I think we should really close here. We've met our time.
So lovely.
Yeah.
Meditation.
And no, we've already shared the techniques now. We will close. Yeah.
Okay. Can I, one last
Yes.
Say, as you told, okay, first of all, we have to be a very good listener.
Yes.
And in that case, I'm very bad.
Okay.
And I'm very bad in talking.
Okay.
So listening, okay, then too, if I give my promise to myself, okay, yeah, something happened, conflict is coming from my family, suppose. So be calm. But it's like 1 month, it's okay. 2 months, 3 months. Then it's like the question comes, why always I?
Yeah.
Then after 4 months, I give up. Again, then I start the same thing. So that is going
But
on.
now you have a goal. Today you have a goal. Your goal is to only create situations to the best of you can. So I'm doing this. Your focus has changed today. It is no longer just the family. Today you have a very strong personal goal to be at peace and to be healthy in that, right? You have a very strong goal today. You didn't have it yesterday. Nobody told you that. but today somebody did. And you have understood it, right? So today your life you will change your life because now somebody told you. Before, how could you know? You're following what the others taught you. But today you've learned something different. So we will have another of these sessions before I go, maybe 27th, 28th, and Kavita, 28th maybe. And then Kavita will inform everybody now in the next few days. So you can bring friends. The nice part about friends is that if you forget, they will remind you. Yeah, and if you fall, they will lift you. Yeah, it's very important to have one good friend at least who you can share this wisdom with. Yeah, and then feel free. All of these are people have practice techniques here. They can lead you onto the Facebook. They can give you more kriyas that we have shared. So world gets better and better, and you will have a better day every day. Yeah, I can assure you that. So I want to close here. Thank you all, and thank you everybody who's joined us from wherever. It's early morning, I think, in North America, and late. So sleep well, wake up happy, and we'll see you soon.